What is up, guys? My name is Wenster. Welcome back to The Average Fighter. So today we got a little bit of a news / discussion video for you. Before we jump into today's video, guys, make sure that you guys mash that subscribe button. I do appreciate everyone who does. And also, while you're at it, do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you could see whenever we drop content on this channel. Also, guys, make sure that you guys go ahead and go give me a follow on Twitch. It's been popping lately, you know what I'm saying? I've been streaming a lot more, really every day. Streaming a lot of Red Dead Redemption if you guys want to check it out. I do stream Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, so don't be worried about that. I'm going to leave all my social media in the description below so you guys can check it out firsthand. Enough about the shameless plug. I see you noticing. I know you could tell that we got this upgrade. I know you could see all the pores, wrinkles, and all the hair follicle. We done did it, guys. We got a new camera. I'm really excited. I've been doing a lot of research and saved a lot of money to get a new camera. Now that I have, I'm really happy with it. My old one was cracking. It was grainy. Now, don't get me wrong, it put in work, and it almost held me down for 2 years since the channel started, man. But I think it's finally high time that I invest in myself, I invest what I've been building, and more importantly, I give you guys the premium quality content that I've been wanting to give this whole time. But let me know what you think of the new setup in the comments below. If you like the new quality, the new HDness, make sure that you guys mash the like button so you guys can let your boy know. But let me know how it looks. I think it looks great. It makes me look good. Shit, I look fucking good, man. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's crazy to think how fast this year went. From the making of this video, there's only about a year and a half left. But it's also crazy to think how many fighting games have come out this year as well. But we're not here to talk about the time. We're not here to talk about the end of the year. What we're here to talk about is the important piece of information that we got from Capcom. They recently released a piece of news on how their games did in the past fiscal year. So they were talking about Street Fighter V, and more importantly, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So that leads us to today's discussion. I definitely wanted to talk about, was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite a failure? Now, before we start talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, if it flopped, or if it did okay, or if it did great, we have to understand what Capcom considers a failure. So what I went ahead and did is got a couple numbers from games that Capcom has released over the years, compare those games and how they sold to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, hopefully finding a common denominator or a sales goal. Now, I wanted to start off with Street Fighter 4. Upon its release on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, Street Fighter 4 was universally acclaimed. It sold 3.3 million copies upon its release. That is a ridiculous amount of games being shipped out and sold. So, also wanted to continue with the various updates that Street Fighter 4 got throughout the years leading up to Street Fighter 5. Super Street Fighter 4 sold 1.9 million. Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition sold 1.1 million. The 3DS version of Street Fighter 4 sold 1.2 million. And Ultra Street Fighter 4 sold 1.2 million as well. That is ridiculous. The goal for Street Fighter 4 was actually 2 million. Now up next, I wanted to talk about a game that I actually was extremely excited for and why I actually got into the fighting game community, and that's Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, upon its release, did also receive universal acclaim. Upon its release, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 sold 2 million, giving it the title of successful to Capcom. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 also got an update in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and the game sold only 600,000 copies. So the updated version of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was not considered a success. But as of March 2015, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom has sold 1.5 million copies, which is a ridiculous amount considering the game came out back in 2012 or 2011, one of those two. Up next, it's a much more recent fighting game from Capcom, and it is Street Fighter V. Now, Street Fighter V had a lot of mixed reviews, considering there was not a lot of content for the game, such as I think a story mode, characters, and a lot of the visuals still look a little bit wonky, like Ken's banana hair and his weird looking face. A lot of things were changed throughout the years. Nothing is perfect, but upon release, Street Fighter V sold 1.4 million copies. That's a ridiculous amount, but it did fall short of Capcom's goal, which is 2 million. Now, there is a updated version of Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, which has sold 1 million, which is a good amount of copies for the game, considering how recent it is, the mixed reviews that it got in the beginning. But here we are, 1 million in, and upon release, 1.4 million. Last on the list is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, for those who have been following it, know this story like the back of their hand. For those who don't, I'm going to do a quick recap. But now that we know the numbers, now we can attach those numbers to the ratings of the critics and how the community perceived it. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was released in September of 2017. By November, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has only sold 1 million copies. It was universally bashed for its actual visuals and aesthetics. A lot of the community did not like it, felt a little bit on the short end of the stick when it comes to content. But on the flip side, Marvel vs. Capcom was universally praised for its actual gameplay, giving the ability to tag whenever. Also, the introduction of the Infinity Stones was a very nice touch that was also praised by the community and praised by the critics alike. Now, those numbers for Street Fighter V and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are from last year. Now that we understand the numbers, it really puts everything into perspective. Now, that brings us to today's point. Was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite a failure? Like I said, to fully understand this, we went back to the numbers of Street Fighter 4 and its various updates, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. They all have the same common denominator, 2 million copies. To be considered a success, you must hit that threshold upon release, or somewhere very, very near it. Now, Street Fighter 4 and its various updates, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition have been out a lot longer than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, thus giving those games and those titles the ability to sell a lot more copies. Now, to play the devil's advocate, those games were able to reach their sales goals, excluding Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, in that same article that Capcom did release for their sales figures of last year, to Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a failure, only getting halfway to its release goal up until now. Now that we discussed the numbers and we really see and understand Capcom as a business and what they consider a success and what isn't a success, it's a lot easier to put things into perspective, to understand the community. Even if you're not part of it and you're just hearing this for the first time, now you know the goal that Capcom has, 2 million. Now, my personal thoughts on the matter, not every game could be a Street Fighter 4. Not every game could be an instant classic. Fighting games have always been overshadowed by their counterparts, such as shooters, action-adventure games, have always struggled to find their footing in pop culture or what's poppin'. Now, the game has been out for a little over a year now, and I definitely think it's eventually going to hit its 2 mark. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 only hit its mark 3 years after the fact. And I think that's why we never got an update for the game. But with that being said, I definitely think it's eventually going to reach its 2 million mark, hopefully sooner rather than later. But at the same time, is this enough to dead a game? I definitely don't think that the series or the game should be dead by the company itself. I definitely think Capcom has a lot of room for improvement with this title, has a lot of catching up to do when it comes to listening to the community, what the community wants. But here we are right now, trying to put everything into perspective and understanding what Capcom has planned. But I definitely don't think these sales numbers are enough to just dead a game. Even though the sales and the critic reviews did not meet to what Capcom envisioned for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the community still enjoys the game, even though there was a lot of backlash from the community itself, pandering the visuals, people still enjoy it to this day, 1 year and some change later. Probably you're still going to enjoy it for the years to come if there isn't an update or something else in store for the Marvel vs. Capcom series. That brings me to my next point. There is a lot of support for Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. We have the Marvel Lives podcast. We have a unofficial tournament series by Swole Bad Guy, the Fate of Two World Championship. We have YouTubers such as myself, I See You Hater, who runs weekly tournaments. We have a lot of other YouTubers who do support it and stream Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite regularly. We have a very strong community who are open arms to receive anyone willing to learn and to play. By that means this game, or Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for that matter, are not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And hopefully the community is enough to catch the eye of someone important who could do something and change something for these games. Only time can tell what's going to happen into the future, but that's where we are at today. Now that we understand everything, I'm going to leave you with a couple questions. Are the sales numbers enough to dead this game or this series? What numbers did you expect to see for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Considering where the game is at financially, should this game receive support? Specifically Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Should there be an update? Should there be more than just Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Make sure that you guys leave your replies in the comments below. I definitely read everything. Trust me guys, I hear you. Let me know in the comments below, should it go on, or is this the last hoorah for Marvel vs. Capcom or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Now guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new camera, the new visuals, the new aesthetic. Let me know what you guys think. Answer the questions in the comments below guys. I'm going to check every single one of them out. Make sure that you guys do subscribe. And until next time, my name is Wenster. This is The Average Fighter, and I will check you guys out later.